Globalization has changed the rules that govern the world's economy, connecting national to regional and local economies more than ever before.
Well, globalization is a process that has been going on now for more than 2 decades, and is radically changing the way our world functions. There's much greater interaction, there's much greater trade, there's much greater flow of information, flow of knowledge that is affecting us all. Whether we like it or not, our lives are changing as a result. Well, one of the problems that we have seen is that traditional development policies seem to be much less effective than they were before. These policies are not working, fundamentally because they privilege certain sectors versus others, which means you're leaving a lot of the potential of individuals and territories untapped.
LED takes advantage of outside growth opportunities, and it links the local economy to national and global value chains and markets. In this way, the quality of life is improved for women and men.
Still, is globalization not overtaking a lot of those initiatives and those wishful thinking processes? How do we find place these days?
Truly, localities are not insulated from global processes. Because through globalization, local people are exposed to new knowledge, new technology. On the negative side, globalization has introduced competitiveness where some local enterprises are ill-equipped to compete.
LED strategies mean more than just economic growth. The LED team of the ILO is committed to generating employment and promoting decent work that respects the dignity, economic security and equal opportunity for all individuals, irrespective of race, creed or sex. Making local policies coherent with national policy frameworks is becoming decisive for sustained success. In return, local actors can develop innovative practices and contribute to better national policies and institutional reform.
It's critical that we keep that in mind, that national is made up of localities. The potentials of the national really reside in the potentials of the local. We are obliged to strengthen the ability of the local to contribute to the national.
I believe there's a role for government, central, national, state, whatever, and local. They are there to facilitate, to help, to create the environment, to make a contribution. But the critical factor must be ownership by the community, involvement by the community, participation by the community. I'm particularly concerned about young people. Young people are one of the greatest assets these communities have.
Through its LED projects, the ILO makes participatory decision-making a priority. LED promotes social dialogue, empowers people and connects them to their resources.
Well, public-private dialogue is essential for local economic development. Dialogue is the start for LED, and it also remains part and parcel of the whole LED process later on.
Solution based on social dialogue takes longer, but they last longer. Once you have constructed the capacity, then you can, look at many different issues, many different policies.
The ILO experience shows that there are many motivations and different entry points to initiate LED for achieving decent work. These go from skills upgrading and employment-intensive investment to social protection and labour market reform. Because of their integrated approach, LED programs increasingly need to be linked to policies of decentralisation, employment creation, social protection and sustainable development.
The focus is kind of like sustainable economic development, jobs, poverty reduction. That's the objective. What makes this distinctive, though, this is about a bottom-up, inside-out approach. It is about involving communities in their kind of like future.
I think the main factor that makes LED successful is that we're talking about local economic development. It has to lead to economic development.
I think it is about environment, economy, culture and community, how we actually work all those things together.
And a sort of development that is actually designed, developed and owned by the community.
I see LED as not community development. It's a lot more. It is about bringing together this community and economic together.
One of the most important products of local economic development, and through this empowerment, what we're doing is actually promoting social development, but above all, we're going to promote eventually economic development.
LED provides a bridge from the local to the international level of economic development for people to take their future into their own hands and work for more inclusive development practices.
And I think by doing this, you're achieving all those goals at the same time. Economic development, social development, and community development.